if you have not watched the last episode on how we installed how we install. If you have not watched how we make those installation, how to install Visual Studio SQL, if you have not watched this, I would advise you to go and check it out. There are 3 things that you are going to learn how to install here, and these are the tools that we are going to be using today to bring to light our work. So this video is available. You can look for it. You can look for it, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, all you have to do is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe. I appreciate your subscription, and it's going to go a long way to encourage more work, more subscription. And you can see the channel is still far below the expectation. I still have a long way to go. Still have far less subscription, 105. But this is not discouraging. We still want to push more and get the content so that people, while they are learning, while we're giving out, they are learning, and this would help us and help others to grow, and also help us, encourage us to keep going. Please, I would advise, and I want to encourage, I want to beg that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It doesn't bite. It's all you have to do is to click the subscription button if you have not done that. So I'm going to continue by sorry, so let me close this. So you can check this out and watch so that you can be part of what we are talking about here. So today what we want to talk about is CBT web app with ASP.NET Core. We want to see how the projects can be done, and in maybe before the week runs out, we should be able to get something out of this project, at least get us to the point where we can work things out ourselves. And I want to show you, and I've already said it, that ASP.NET Core is quite easy and you can easily navigate your way around it. So I'm going to start my Visual Studio for people that have installed, if you have installed. And apart from Visual Studio, you can use Visual Studio Code for some of us that maybe our system cannot carry this. So we can easily get the Visual Studio, so download it so you can still run the same application on it. And I'm going to make this work available on our Git repository. So on my Git repository, so you can pull, modify, push back for others to see, so people can also benefit if there are things that you observe that can be added or modified. So no one's another island of knowledge. So I believe if we both contribute to learn together, and we're going to be better together. So that's the essence of this tutorial. So I want to close all this because I've generated some stuff, so I'm going to close them. I'll be using it to explain, and from there I'm going to show you how to get things done. Now I want to build the CBT, and that's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. So I already have the hub, and the last tutorial I told you how we can create an app, and you make it, you run the app, and the app will be running. This app is already running, so let me just run it. So I will explain some things. Let me run the app. It's already running, so that I don't have any data, nothing yet on the app. So automatically to trigger, and you're going to use the CBT application. So what do we have? We have our app has been created. Once you create an app in ASP.NET Core, you're going to have some already written code generate for you. It's like a template of codes that have been written for you, and it's just enough, sufficient enough for you to kickstart your application. For people that still know how to create an app, let me show you. So I'm going to create a app, even though we are not using it. So we're just going to create it for the benefit of people that want to learn how to create. So all you do is to start up your Visual Studio. Just start up your Visual Studio. So it's click your Visual Studio. My own is launching already. So so once you have if you don't have anything in the history, you can, this place is going to be blank. So you can clone from your repository. If you have code already in the repository, if you want to clone from there, all you have to do is to look for the URL of the repository, paste it there. Then the folder, the destination where you want it to go, then you click on clone. And that will naturally pull your work from the repo. All right, mistakenly close that. So now, if you don't want to go by repository, if you want to open an existing project, all you do is to click, then go to where the project resides. Maybe you copy project, your destination, maybe your document, download, and wherever you want it to be, just click and open the project. So that's another one. You can open a local folder, then you can create a new project. So if you want to create a new project, all you do is to click on this. Then it will give you samples of project that can be created. Part of the project that can be created is web console application, console, can create ASP.NET Core application, Blazor web assembly application, then class, then we have the class library. You can have ASP.NET Core Web MVC, which is what I'll be selecting. So I'll be selecting this, and instead of going through all these, you can just come here and write ASP.NET Core. So all the ASP.NET Core will be listed, so you can see it in the API. We're going to be making use of the API later in our tutorial. So I'm going to be using this because our project is an MPC base. So we're going to be clicking this. Then once you click, you just tell the system to next. Then you supply a name. Let's give it a name, ABC app. Let's say ABC app. So my testing app is ABC, then all you do the next. So for me, I'm using 5.0. You can use 6.0, which is the latest at the time of this tutorial. But for now, because I have not upgraded my SDK, so I'm still using .NET 5.0, so which is the current for this system. But the fact that I have seen current to be 5.0, I don't need 5.0 latest, 6.0 is latest, and 7.0 is under review. I mean, you have this 6 point something which are under review. So you can go for 6.0 and don't be afraid to continue. If you are seeing 6.0, you are going to get the same results. All right, it's because it's not there. I'll prefer to use 6.0, and I don't want to go through the rigor of 6.0. And for other reasons like the dependencies that I've installed, some of the app I've been building. So most of them are 5.0. So if I'm installing 6.0, there might be conflict. And aside that, when you are selecting this, because I have a similar problem, my host, I actually hosted on a place. So my host complaint could not support 6.0. So I had to downgrade the work I've done in 6.0 to 5.0. So you have to take note of that. If you are building an application, look at the platform, the targeted platform. Is it going to support 5.0 or 6.0 or thereabout? Just make sure that you are getting your things correct before you starts building, because it can be frustrating when you have to go forth and back to downgrade the work that has been done. So 5.0 is still fine because of the stated reason. So all you do is to click create and your project is created. So just wait a minute and let the project be created. So I'm going to show you what the supposed work. So this is ASP.NET Core for the ABC app. So if you want to run it, you can just go to Debug and click on this area, and the project will be up and running. Wow. So sorry, I should include SSL. Yes, I should include SSL. Yes. So the project is up and running. So you can see my Chrome is trying to block it because of the SSL issue. So it's on the local port, and you can see it's there already. This is the first app, and it's there running. So, and if you look at this app, it runs from controller to view. So all these are already existing. So this is where I have my controller. The controller, you can open it and see the list of codes that are already generated. Inside controller, you have the index, you have the privacy. So these things are there. We have for model, yes, we have the arrow model. Then for view, we have the home view. I'm going to explain more about all these things in our work, how we can use it. This is just the page that you're seeing on the browser. There's nothing there. I can change this to maybe ABC, ABC, ABC web app. Okay, so I haven't done that. You can refresh. Okay, so you have to. Oh, that press launch. Wow, it should be a mistake. Okay, so can run it again. You can prefer running from here sometime. Let me stop and go on again. So I'll start without debugging, and the application will still be running. Sorry, I think we are doing something wrong. Okay. I have not said, okay, it's ABC web, which is there already. ABC web, sorry, this my stuff is blocking it. Let me move it here. So my ABC web app is there, so you can see it in your tab, ABC web app, you can see it. So you can also change maybe the welcome message to another thing, building web with then more welcome. This is CBT app. So you can run, refresh. This is CBT app. So why this is wrong. This CBT app. So that's it. So you can see the startup is not difficult. The app is already up and running, and giving you some boilerplate. I mean, some boiler code that you can work with. So I'm going to switch back to the code that I've been working with so that we can kickstart from there. We don't keep reinventing the wheel. I'm going to show you how far I've gone. So let me just go back here and see. This is the CBT app I've been building. Let it come up. Good. Now, this is my CBT app. Now, in this app, one of the things that will assist you in getting started is to familiarize yourself with this environment. For people that are using Visual Studio Code, you might need to be writing some commands like running an application. It's not as we are doing it here. So you might need to be running like something like dot, not maybe run or something. So you might need to be running that. You need a tutorial on how to get all this thing done. So you might need tutorial on how to get all those things done. So I can't really fathom, I can't really remember everything I found, but I've run it and it works fine. Even if you're using Linux, you can still run the same application. So just that you have to understand some bunch of codes and commands that you might need to use. Now let's look at the code. Now, when you run an application, it actually, the view is, the application runs from view to controller from controller to view. So the view, it is the controller that renders the view. So that's how the application runs. So my applications, I'm going to show you, this is my controller, and in the home, you can see the home that shows, this is the view, and now action result, and it's returning view. So this view means that there's a correspondent index view. So if you go to controller home has a view home. So you can see controller home has a view home, controller question has the question, and on like that. So it's a convention in ASP.NET Core. So automatically when you run it like that, system will look for the name home in the view, then look for index, if there's any index there. So since there's index there, so the name of the method here is still the name of the what we have here. You understand? So now that is fine and that's working fine for now. So what we have done so far is to create models that will handle our data. So if you are coming from Laravel's background, model is still like model in Laravel. So all we are talking about here is creating the model that carry the structure, the data. It's actually called the domains. So we have application user. So this is my first model that was created. So the first one is application user, which have the first name, the last name, gender, and things like that. Now, if you look at this model, it's you expect it to have something like email, phone number, and things like that. Yes, it has, because there are some pre-written code. So which I'm going to be using. So there's what we call identity class. In the identity class, if you look at it, it's a class, and you can see that I'm inheriting from identity class. So my application user, which is the name I gave to that class, is inheriting from identity user. So who is identity? What is identity user? It's actually a user that has been pre-written. Now let's go to the definition. So in identity user, we can have identity user, then the implementation of identity user. What do we have? Let's further go dig down to identity user. Okay, is it identity user? Go to definition again. Now this is what we have under identity user. We already have emails. For example, look at email. We have the password hash, we have the ID, we have the username. And if you compare it with what I have here, I don't have ID. So because I know it's actually inheriting, the identity user is inheriting from, my class is inheriting from identity user. So automatically, if I'm stating it here, it's going to override what we have here. That's why I choose not to state it, so that all these values that are here would be available for me. So now for you to use identity user, it's not that you just open your code and start using it. You have to install the package. So I have some list of packages that I've installed. I'm going to show you how to do that. So we have look at it. We have entity identity, um, Microsoft ASP.NET Core identity entity framework core. So you have to install this so that this identity user will be available for you to use. Then you have to install the entity framework core, entity core relational and relational design, and the core SQL and SQL design and the core tool. I'm showing you this so that we can save time. All these are one, if you look at the SQL, is for the SQL connection and design of database. So for you to use SQL, you have to install it. If you want to use MySQL, maybe Postgres or something, you just have to install that Microsoft Entity Core dot with Postgres, maybe dot Oracle or whatever you want to use as database. So how do I install this package? It's quite simple. All you do is to come to the name of your project, right click and go to manage package. There's no get package. So you come here and you can browse it, browse the list of whatever you want. We have entity framework core or design. So we have entity framework core. So it will be there. So just look for the ones that you need and you click, then you come here. So it is here. I've installed it. So it's asking me if I want to downgrade because it's already on my system. If I choose to downgrade, I can downgrade from here. You can see that we have 6.4 already. All these ones are already pointing to the fact that we are moving towards 7. So, but because of my target hosts platform that's not supporting 6 yet. So I have to stick to 5.0, which is also working fine, just like 6.0. So if you choose to use 6.5, if you choose to use 5, it's okay. So you are just be free to use whatever you want to use. Okay. The next thing is that you have to install those dependencies and see how they're working. Another thing that you need to do, now let me go back. After installing your packages, you might need to install, you need to create your models. So for the models, I created application user and I told you it's inheriting from identity user. And I assume that all these things are not available. So and if they are available, it's going to override them. So I'm creating specialization, the name. I assume that, okay, the user is going to have a name, last name, there's going to be gender. Then the specialization is like, okay, which department would that person belong? So it's like the specialization. Now, how do I create these two things that you are seeing here? It's like relationship. Now, what this does is it's connecting, it's relating table application user. So it's relating application user with specialization. This is an example of one-to-many relationship. That is, one user belongs to a specialization. So that's why we're using one-to-one. It's quite simple once you declare this, and you can see that this specialization itself, if you go to the definition of that specialization, you would see we have specialization model. So we've related specialization with user. So look at the specialization itself. So we have the class specialization, and it's not inheriting from identity like the application user that is inheriting. So that's why it's blank, but we have a we have a constructor, and what I'm just using constructor to do is to pass a value that is going to assign a value to one of the member of this class. So we have ID. So this one is going to have an ID, the name, description, and the time at which this thing specialization was added. Then I collection of application user. So application user, many application user would then belongs to one specialization. That's why we have the I collection of it, of application user, then I give it a name. So we're going to have this. So all this, what it does is to connect our specialization with application user. So we can see the application user, which is this. And there's another thing that should be here, which is the application user, which is specialization ID. Specialization ID. So the specialization ID should be here. Yes, we have to add it. Specialization ID. So we have public and specialization ID. So it's going to get and set. So automatically the system is looking for specialization automatically. Where is the specialization? Where is the ID of specialization that is created? So the ID has to be stored here. So it is this ID that will be foreign key on this table. Then we have another table that is associating, that is related to this table, which is the selected answers. We're going to get there soon, how this selected answers has a relationship with our table. Now, let's go back to our model. So in our model, we have model question. Now let's go to question. Now, when somebody is taking question, this table structure such that you can have list of questions. Then in another table, we have list of options. So the question, we have many options. So that means the question is having many options, while an option belongs to a question. So we have to take note of that relationship, and we must be able to establish it. Now let's look at the question. In the question, I have my constructor, and I'm trying to assign time, that is the current time, to this, so that anytime anybody is calling this, it will automatically go with this value. So my question will have an ID, then we have the question itself, which is a string value, then the time. Then it has a relationship with specialization. The question also belongs to specialization. Then we have the specialization, we are trying to link it. Then we have the high collection of options. That is, this table has many options. When you pick a question, a question can have 1, 2, 3, 4 options, and you can have 2 options. So that is also very important to note. So another thing that we've not talked about is the option. I will say that our option is also related to question. So we have question ID. So anytime you are calling the question, you must have an ID that you can use to reference that question. Please take note of that. So we have selected answers. So when a user selects an answer, when a user, somebody that is taking test, selects an answer, that answer belongs to some options which belongs to a question. So you can use that relationship to pick one. You can pick option, the question, the specialization through a single option that is selected. So that's it for now. That's how we relate our questions together. So I want to believe that we gain one or two things. Our specialization should not be discouraged. So yeah, specialization model, look at it. It's also related with application user. So we should understand that this building, it's a process. So we have to lay the foundation, which is what we're laying here. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be talking about the DTO, data transfer model. How do we transfer information so that we don't expose our model directly or our table directly to hackers, so that this will interested in malicious things. So I'm going to stop here. Expecting the next video, hopefully tomorrow. The DTO, data migration, everything has been done. It's just for us to explain. I want us to take it one at a time so that we don't model things up. I'm going to make the project available on the repository so that we can download and work with. So before then, I enjoy you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's going to assist us to do more. Please kindly subscribe if you have not, and if you have subscribed, kindly like this video so that others can also see it. Thank you very much. If you have any question or any complaint, kindly drop your comments below. The notification. Thank you.